Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. This one's going out to Starkiller 100, who used to be a Jedi and was now a base, but that was all blown up. Anyways, he has only just recently gotten into our channel, and he wanted to say that he really appreciates all the work that we put into our videos. Thank you so much, Starkiller 100. This rundown is all yours. Harrison Ford is going to be a year older when the new Indiana Jones movie comes out. Disney and Lucasfilm have delayed the planned 5th Indiana Jones movie by a year. The film was originally announced with a July 2019 release, but will now search for box office fortune and glory a year later on July 10th, 2020. The delay probably has something to do with the fact that director Steven Spielberg currently has several other big projects in the works, not the least of which is his long-in-development Ready Player One movie. The delay means that the film will be coming out 3 days before star Harrison Ford's 78th birthday, which, needless to say, is pretty old to be headlining a big action movie. It's not the years, it's the mileage. Disney delaying the new indie film doesn't mean that they won't have another big Lucasfilm adventure hitting theaters in 2019. As part of the same announcement, they've revealed that Star Wars Episode IX, the final film in the new trilogy, will arrive on May 24th, 2019. This means it will be hitting our galaxy less than a year and a half after the release of its predecessor, Episode VIII, The Last Jedi, which arrives this December. Episode IX will also be arriving just 1 year after the new Star Wars spin-off, focusing on Han Solo, which, unlike the new indie movie, will have a new and younger actor, Alden Ehrenreich, in the lead role. That's a lot of Star Wars, but Disney might not be keeping up the annual release cycle forever. The studio currently has no Star Wars movie on the schedule for 2020, so I guess we'll have to be satisfied with the new Indiana Jones outing that year. We'll keep you up to date with the latest on both franchises. And we've got one more new Disney film to talk about before we let it go. The studio has announced that Frozen 2 will chill theaters on November 27, 2019, 6 years to the day after the original film was released. They haven't revealed any plot details yet, but we do know that all the lead characters will be back, including Princess Elsa, Anna, and the snowman Olaf, who unfortunately hasn't done what Frozen things do in summer yet. It's no surprise that Disney wants to make a sequel to Frozen. The original film far exceeded expectations, grossing more than $1.2 billion, becoming the highest grossing animated film of all time and the most watched movie in my house. As anyone with young children knows, the film and its characters have become a cultural phenomenon, so expect a huge marketing blitz when the sequel comes out. An old fossil is being dug up for the new Jurassic Park movie. Original Jurassic Park actor Jeff Goldblum will be back in the upcoming sequel to Jurassic World. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Goldblum will reprise his iconic role of Dr. Ian Malcolm in the new film, appearing alongside returning stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. This will be Goldblum's first time appearing in the dinosaur franchise since 1997, when he starred in the first Jurassic Park sequel, The Lost World. That film wasn't as well received as the original, so hopefully the new Jurassic World will give Goldblum a chance to shine. His portrayal of Ian Malcolm in the first movie has become one of the most memorable things about it, fueling countless memes and online parodies, so all the Goldblum fans out there are going to be happy to see him back. We've got our fingers crossed that it will at least be better than the last time Goldblum tried to revisit a 90s franchise, Independence Day Resurgence, which was one big pile of shit. Jurassic World 2 will chow down on theaters next year.
That is one big pile of shit.
And while we're on the subject of 90s nostalgia and massive piles of shit, one of the most controversial video games of all time is making a comeback. The 1992 Sega CD game Night Trap is getting a 25th anniversary edition on the PS4 and Xbox One. The original game was released during the early 90s craze of full-motion video games, which were essentially live-action movies that gave players limited interaction with the environments. Night Trap tells a campy story about young women fighting off vampires, with players controlling a series of traps that are there to thwart the bloodsuckers. Despite its silly premise, the game was actually very controversial, with many prominent politicians accusing it of being too violent for children. It and other early 90s games like Mortal Kombat 2 helped lead to the creation of modern game rating systems all over the world. The controversy is pretty much the only reason anyone still remembers Night Trap, because the game itself isn't very good. Publisher Limited Run Games hasn't said if the 25th anniversary edition will be the original uncut version or the censored version that was released after the controversy. The new edition arrives this spring. The people behind the original Burnout games are going to take players right into the danger zone. Three Fields Entertainment, a studio founded by former members of Burnout developer Criterion Games, has announced an all-new car-smashing game called Danger Zone. Like the popular Crash mode in the Burnout series, the new game is based around crashing, with players taking the role of a driver in a crash test facility and then trying to create the biggest crashes they can. Burnout creators Fiona Sperry and Alex Ward founded Three Fields Entertainment after they left Criterion in 2014, and they say that Danger Zone is meant to be a spiritual successor to the Burnout series. It will smash and crash onto the PC and PS4 next month. So what's happening with the actual Burnout series? The franchise is still owned by Criterion's parent company, Electronic Arts. The publisher hasn't announced any plans to revisit the franchise, with Criterion instead helping out on the development of new Need for Speed games, as well as the awesome Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR mission that was released last year. Criterion had been working on an untitled open-world racing game that was unveiled at E3 2014, but that project was officially canceled last year. We've got our fingers crossed that EA and Criterion will revisit the Burnout franchise at some point in the future. It looks like game maker Ubisoft is going to have to go through another desperate fight for survival. The studio behind Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Ghost Recon, and other big franchises successfully fought off a hostile takeover bid by the multimedia conglomerate Vivendi last year, but the same fight might be kicking up again. A new report in the financial journal Reuters claims that Vivendi is poised to once again try to take over full control of Ubisoft amidst a wider strategy to accelerate their acquisitions in the gaming industry. Hostile takeovers are basically when one company buys up a smaller company without their permission, which is done by buying more than 50% of their stock. Vivendi already owns about 25% of Ubisoft, and Reuters claims that they'll be looking to buy up more of the company in the next few weeks. Ubisoft is still run by co-founder Yves Guillemot, so if Vivendi takes over, it could have a big impact on the kinds of games that the company creates. Expect more details as they develop. And last but not least, the Call of Duty franchise is glorifying war like never before. Earlier today, during a special live stream event, Activision and Sledgehammer Games unveiled the first footage from Call of Duty World War II, the new game that they first announced last week. It appears to be going for a darker and more violent tone than what we've seen out of most other games set during the Second World War, with players taking the role of a new recruit in the real-life 1st Infantry Division of the U.S. Army, also known as the Bloody First, due to the high number of casualties they sustained. The game will explore iconic battles all over the European theater, and the developers say that they went to great lengths to recreate the sights and sounds of the conflict. It's been a while since the Call of Duty franchise has explored World War II. The games have been opting for more futuristic settings in recent years, so returning the action to World War II is Activision's way of getting things back in touch with their roots. Call of Duty World War II will deploy on November 3rd. A closed beta test will be taking place before launch, and if you want to get in, you'll need to pre-order the game.
Welcome to the Bloody First. You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
That wraps up the rundown for today. I'm going to go find myself a lozenge, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new rundown for you. And in the meantime, we've got a lot of other videos for you to explore.